Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl. Hello, my treacherous friends. Hello, operator. The big bang of everything.
Welcome back, my friends.
It's showtime.
Hey, it's the Brink of Sanity. Don't even remember what episode we're up to.
Jay has apparently checked out on doing the show. We'll talk about that in a minute. But
Yeah.
first I wanted to bring up
126.
126, something very bright that Jay is doing right now.
Okay.
Jay gave blood 4 hours ago. He has started drinking. He's halfway through his first beer and halfway to the hospital.
Yeah, well,
We're going to see. Well, you know what? I've given blood before, and drinking one beer later on that night doesn't mean death or anything, but like it definitely messes you up. Jay was going to take a Jack and Coke and start drinking that until I warned him that that might actually mean death.
yeah, I really was going to do that.
So we're going to see how Jay does. He says, how are you feeling right now?
I feel a little strange.
A little strange?
A little strange.
So you have some caffeine in you also?
Yeah, a lot of caffeine.
A lot of caffeine, some alcohol, and one less pint of blood.
Yeah.
That's a good experiment.
How long does it take blood to come back? I probably have more than less of a pint.
I think it might. I think at the very least, like 72 hours before you feel like normal.
Oh, well, tomorrow's New Year's, so it better get better by tomorrow.
I think tomorrow will be better than tonight. I think tonight's the worst, though.
Okay. Well, yeah, I have never donated blood before.
How did that go?
Well, you know how you have to, like, if you've never donated blood, they obviously stick a needle in your arm, and they tell you to, like, squeeze every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, they take these little, like, test vials first before they put all your blood in, like, a huge sack. And I was squeezing during the test vials, not realizing, like, the other side of it, the sack was already filling up.
Yeah.
So then I stopped squeezing. I was waiting for them to attach the sack for the blood. And I didn't realize it was already in and filling up. So I didn't, like, squeeze at all. So it took twice as long as it should have.
Do they? I guess I'm surprised they didn't let you give blood. Do they just discard your blood because you've had sex with a man since 1980?
First of all, it's 86. And
They really. It's funny when you give blood. They have all these things that basically say they're like, have you ever shared a needle with another individual? And they ask you, have you ever touched a gay person? And apparently, if you've done anything related to like I guess doing heroin, which is like I can see a reason why they wouldn't want you to give blood.
yeah.
Or if you can't if you're gay, they won't let you give blood. Basically,
Very, very anti-gay.
Do you think now that they are getting rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, they'll make a movement to like accept gay blood at the hospital?
No, not the way those forms were. I mean, it was like there was 20 questions like, have you ever had gay sex? Have you ever heard of gay sex? Have you ever smelled gay sex? Do you even know what gay sex is? And if you check any of those, they don't want anything to do with your blood.
Have you ever had a threesome with another man in the room?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched porn and stared too long at the man during the lovemaking session?
Yeah, have they had that angle shot where you just see the guy's ball sacks for too long? Because if you have,
You cannot give blood.
we don't
today.
want your blood at all.
It is kind of funny though, like, and no one ever. I've never heard anyone like who's gay or anyone say that's fucked up that they discriminate against gay blood.
Oh, yeah, we could curse on this show.
Oh yeah,
I've been like so safe lately because we started the basketball podcast, and like we're trying to be all professional, so we don't curse, and it's really throwing me off.
so now we can say fuck shit cunt, fuck shit cunt.
Yeah, you said fuck, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have to edit it. Oh no, this is the Forgotten podcast. We don't have to edit anything.
So for those of you who listen to our show, which aren't many,
Yeah, like 7 people now.
we've been doing a Knicks podcast, which has taken off. The Knicks podcast now this month is the second month of full month. We're nearing 3,000 downloads. Brink of Sanity's best month in its 2.5 years of existence, we hit like 3,500 one month. This month, Brink of Sanity has I think 100 downloads.
I care so little, I'm going to let you give all my stats away on the air because I'm usually very secretive about that, but I really don't care.
Wait, there were 150 downloads in October?
For the basketball show because we
Sorry. The basketball show, we had 150 downloads in October, which was like basically like a week. Less than a week. November, we had...
we started October 13th, so it was more than half a month.
Okay, well, then we took off. So October we had 150 downloads. November we had 1,002. Pretty good November. December we are at 2,846 downloads. On our way possibly to 3,000 downloads for the month of December. We have 2 days to go and a good chance of getting here because we're putting up another episode.
1 day to go.
1 day to go. My bigger point being is the Brink of Sanity. I had predicted when we started doing the Nick podcast that it would destroy the Brink of Sanity. Jay said...
Did you?
I think if we could listen to the audio tape, I predicted many things.
Which one? The one I blacked out on? How convenient.
No, I said to you, I remember I said that I thought this would surpass the Brink of Sanity soon.
Yeah, you said by the second full month, and it's destroyed it in its second full month.
Brink of Sanity right now, at this month, is around 1,600 downloads. Basically, the Nick podcast is almost being the Brink of Sanity, which we're on right now, by 2-to-1 margin. So meaning a lot of people care about the Knicks and someone gives a shit about what we have to say.
Yeah. A little depressing.
Jay has made it his life work, the Brink of Sanity show, and thought as the Nick one as kind of a funny side thing to do. And now he's realized that Nick one is the only chance he has for success, and he's almost bailed in this Brink of Sanity show.
Well, when you lose 50% of your listeners between July and December, it's a little disheartening.
And your only remaining listeners are some freak computer in San Antonio who may be screwing up the stats.
Yeah.
We're calling you out, San Antonio. You may be screwing up all our stats and making us look even more pathetic if we eliminate downloads.
Yeah, how come every other day I have every single episode being downloaded by somebody in San Antonio?
But the New York Knicks podcast, we don't have that problem from the San Antonio. The New York Knicks podcast is getting a lot of play on iTunes in there. For a long time, it was in the new and noteworthy section. It was featured last night. It was featured in the professional section.
Literally just last night because it's off now.
I don't know how that happened. But anyhow, the point being, Nick's podcast has been doing pretty well. I don't know if it'll go up from here, but we've gone for a niche, and we both love the Knicks, so it seemed like a natural thing to do. On the other hand, the Brink of Sanity... The bigger thing we like to do is shoot the shit and talk about things going on, and apparently no one cares about that.
And do some drinking.
Do some drinking, which we're doing now.
Not as much as last 2 episodes. We did the last 2 episodes on the same night.
You probably, if you listen, you could tell.
Yeah, you could definitely tell.
Jay's also stopped putting up episodes. So it seems like he puts up 1 or 2 a month, and that may also be hurting the show.
That may have something to do with the huge decline in numbers, yes.
But he does have his studio back. If you have been listening, you've heard Jay grumbling about not having his beat-off room / podcast studio because we had roommates, and the roommates are no longer here.
Right. They were here a little bit longer than I expected, give or take a couple months. And it was a little difficult to coordinate / awkward asking people to leave the room they were staying in so I can drink whiskey and slur into a microphone for hours at a time.
Half the room, though, is still taken up by all their worldly possessions. We say, ask Jay, could you hold on to this stuff for us for a day or a month or week or 2?
Yeah, I don't even know at this point.
But anyhow, so the bigger point being is the podcast here, Brink of Sanity, is not doing that well, and we need fan support. We need people to fan up.
Yeah, because my motivation is... I don't know.
I still like doing the show, and Jay is he is making one effort. He's doing a really dumb thing each episode, and this episode will be giving blood and drinking.
See what I'm doing? I'm murdering myself for this show.
He's giving his all for the show, for you, the fan. And I didn't use the plural, so I didn't need to.
No, whoever's in San Antonio using that Python or lib program that's giving me an extra.
Please call in San Antonio.
And stop using that program.
So anyhow, it has been really cold and shitty here in New York.
Yeah.
I just got back from Aruba. I was away on vacation, laying in the beach, beautiful weather, wonderful time. Jay, what were you doing?
It was snowed in.
Oh.
Yeah, that's basically the extent of it.
I got back in time just for the snow, and even though it snows here every year, apparently this was the Snowocopolis.
Snowcropolis?
Yeah, something like that. Where no one was prepared for the snow that everyone knew was coming for days.
It's it happens every year, usually multiple times a year. Every single year. You'd think we'd figure out that it snows every winter and, kind of like have a plan, know how to deal with it.
I find it funny in New York City. So New York City got hit with like 20 inches of snow. And those of you that don't know New York City that well, maybe those in San Antonio don't know the layout of New York City.
We're just going to direct the show to San Antonio.
And there are 5 boroughs to New York City. And there are 5 like mini cities that make up all of New York City. There's Manhattan, there's Queens, there's Brooklyn, there's Staten Island, and the Bronx. Though most people leave off Staten Island because that place no one cares about unless you like watch the Jersey Shore show a lot. But more importantly, people kind of consider Manhattan. That's where basically all the bankers are, and it's kind of the rich area of New York City. Mm-hmm. And so when the snow hits, the only area they seem to actually plow is Manhattan.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's also where Times Square is and where basically all the tourists go.
And it's also where we're not.
Well, yes. I live in Manhattan. Jay lives in Queens. I had snow removal. Jay did not.
Did not.
Every time they have a snowstorm like this, Bloomberg gets asked, or Mayor Bloomberg gets asked, hey, trains aren't really running in Queens and there's not a lot of snow removal going on there. And Bloomberg has to be like, oh yeah, Queens. Oh, I must have forgotten about the Bronx also. Shit.
Aren't they affiliated with Long Island? Isn't that not my problem?
Queens?
No, that's what Bloomberg says.
Oh, yeah. They seem to always forget. Trains weren't running out in the outer boroughs for days. There was a train that actually came from JFK Airport going back to the city started on Sunday night. Mm-hmm. The people were left on the train for 8 hours on this A train before it moved again. There was no heat in the train, so people were basically freezing on this train for 8 hours.
I don't understand. It's not a new thing. In fact, I think we may have had a similar conversation last year. Who knows?
It pretty much happens every year, as if they don't know New York is going to get hit by snow.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the weather report that morning, and you know it's going to be a big snowstorm, because instead of the weatherman coming on the news at 9:28, he's there on 9:02.
Yeah.
They're like, a car bomb went off in Iraq, and back to the weatherman.
Yeah, and he's all apologetic, it's his fault. I always find that weird.
I'm sorry we were going to get hit by a big storm. You notice he's worn his best suit that day. He's really excited.
He's shuffling his feet. He's all nervous.
Like, don't fuck this up. And he's like, yeah. And that morning he was like, so there's a 100% chance we're going to get hit by snow. And you don't say 100% if you're the weatherman. They get everything wrong. Everything's probability 30%, 40%. He's like, it may be snowing now, but like gravity, this will happen. Mm-hmm. And then he showed this graph thing where the storm is heading up north to New York, and usually there's a chance it could miss New York, but here this storm will blanket New York. And he had a 10-minute segment. Then they cut to people dying somewhere, and it was back to the news that of people dying. But we got hit by a lot of snow, and apparently no one ever. Every year it's always why weren't we prepared for this?
Also, we're aware it's snowing, so you don't need to make that your Facebook update. I had to scroll through 2 pages of it's snowing. Oh my God, snow. Look at the snowflake. Yeah, I'm on the same planet too. I looked out my window. It's snowing. So unnecessary posts.
You know what's kind of unnecessary also?
This show.
Well, yeah. When they do the weathermen and the weathermen are outside covering the snowstorm.
I think the on the scene anything is stupid. They're like, oh, there was a murder here last night on this street. And they had to travel all the way to the street just so they could, I always find that so weird.
It'd be good if it was on the scene, when it's happening. The snowstorm, they do hit when it's happening. But if they hit the
That's
murder.
the worst job ever. There's a tornado here, and they're in the middle of the tornado, spinning around.
Don't be out here like we are.
It's I'm the new guy.
But if it was if there was a murder here in the Bronx going on right now, that guy's killing Sally. We'd help, but we're covering the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, they covered the story. They have the person out there, and the person's it's snowing really hard. If you didn't already look out the window and didn't know that, I'm going to prove it to you by being outside.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't get news, I guess. Don't understand news.
I don't really understand. I mean, it's all about what? And all I want to hear, I don't want to see the on the scene report with the snowstorm. All I want to hear is, when will it end? Mm-hmm. Tell me how many inches and when will it end? It's kind of like when you go to jail. Tell me how many inches and when will it end?
At least I still have to wade through about 6 inches of slush all the way to work because no plows, and now it half melted. So it's either ice or just a really cold puddle.
It wasn't even that clean up in Manhattan. When I was on Monday when I was going to work, I was helping my wife also go to work, and like it was pretty like icy, and I was like, wow, the outer boroughs must be fucked.
Yeah. No, even today, it's like, oh, cool. I like wet sock work days. That's awesome. Thank you.
Nothing could destroy your day more than when you take the wrong step. Like you fall for those like, I think that's not a puddle. Oh wait, it's a puddle.
Yeah, like 3 steps into my commute, ice cold sock.
I was walking across the street today, and like still like there's still the slush everywhere, and I got to a street corner where the entire corner was surrounded by like a mini like moat. And I was like, I have to just go back. I can't go across the street here.
Yeah.
I had to cut back to like...
Yeah, halfway around the block and run across the street. Yeah, I had that too.
And then they also... I'm someone that jaywalks a lot in the city, basically. So I always I cut off midway through the block. You can't do that now without like trouncing through all the snow.
Yeah. It's good times.
Yeah, Jay yawns.
I'm
Jay doesn't give a shit about the show anymore.
No.
He's drinking beer.
Well, the other thing about the other show is it's 20 minutes long, so we've basically done already.
Fuck that, we're going for another hour.
Yeah, why not? We'll just do it until I pass out.
I have my rants for a little bit later. So, weather sucks. Movies. Black Swan. You see the Black Swan?
No. Who dragged you to that movie?
Well, first off, no one had to drag me when I heard about there being a lesbian scene between the two actresses in the movie.
Really?
Yes.
I want to go see Black Swan.
Exactly. It was, what's her name? The girl from Garden State, who's pretty hot.
Natalie Portman.
And then the even hotter girl.
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis from that 70s show.
Much hotter, yes.
From what I knew ahead of time, there was some kind of sex scene going on between them. Some kind of erotic stuff going on.
I was not aware of this.
So, and also, you probably haven't seen the preview. Have you seen the preview?
No.
Because it sounds like you hear Black Swan, you think Swan Lake, you think a movie about ballet, you're like, this is the gayest movie you could possibly seen, and like, this would be like, I might as well cut off my manhood and go to see this movie.
Yeah.
But see the preview, it looks freaky as hell. And it's actually by the Darren Aronofsky, who did The Wrestler, which was really good. Mm-hmm. And he did Requiem for a Dream, which was probably one of the most fucked up movies I've ever seen.
Yes, it is.
So, given the fact that he's the director, you know it's not an ordinary movie.
Oh, okay.
So now you want to see the Black Swan, basically.
Well, you're not tricking me. This isn't like the hot sex scene in Monster, where I was like, oh, it's 2 really hot girls. Oh, they gained 40 pounds for the role, and they have horrible makeup on. It's not like that.
They both lost a little weight for the role because they have to play dancer.
I heard they lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, so they look a little thin, a little thin for my taste, but they still look good. So on Christmas Day, we went to see that movie.
In 3D?
It would be awesome in 3D, actually.
Lesbian scene in 3D?
We went to see it. Now, I just knew it was a little bit of like some kind of lesbian scene there, but I thought it was like something kind of fast, maybe. I don't know. At the best, I thought it might be like a lesbian kiss, like there was in Wild Things.
Okay.
So, that's the name of the movie, right? Wild Things?
I think so. That was
the name of the movie.
Neve Campbell.
Yeah. And Denise
who
Richards.
disappeared off the face of the earth.
She really did. And I wish Denise Richards would disappear off the face of the earth.
She did for a little while, and then she came back. It's like, why'd you disappear when you're in your prime, and then...
Come back when you're old and we don't care about you anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
At least you're going to come back in Playboy.
Yeah, it's not like we liked your acting.
But anyhow, so we went to see the movie with myself, my wife, and my in-laws, my wife's parents.
So it's really hard to get a raging hard on when you're in that crowd.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Well, I was sitting, the seating arrangement was fine. It was my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my wife, and then me. So I'm not sitting next to them, and whatever. Mm-hmm. What I felt bad was for my wife, because there wasn't like one little lesbian scene. This movie was like scene after scene that would make you feel so uncomfortable for being with your parents. Like, scene after scene where you'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm staying with my parents.
Oh my god, I think I'm going to go see a ballet movie.
The Garden State girl, at one point, masturbates. Has like a full-on scene where she's like masturbating. Which I was like, wow, I feel really bad for my wife now, sitting next to her mom. And then there's a lesbian scene where that 70s girl goes down on the Garden State girl. Like, full-on for like 5 minutes.
Jesus.
So yeah, you should rush to see that. Don't walk, run.
All right.
But it was one of the more bizarre... It's a really freaky movie. Mm-hmm. Totally, even without the lesbian scenes, kind of worth seeing. But with the lesbian scenes, even more worth seeing. But it was a really weird... I would recommend not going with your parents to see this movie.
Yeah, it sounds like a good call.
Yeah. And it would be the only movie I do want to see in 3D.
And it was the one movie that's not in 3D.
Every freaking movie's in 3D.
They should announce when they're not in 3D. We get it. They're all in 3D, except apparently that one shady pornhouse theater you have to see that movie in.
Yeah. The, what is it? Seth Rogen has a new movie where he's like the Green Hornet or the Green Lantern or whatever the thing. Anyhow, I kind of like Seth Rogen, even though I think Jay hates him.
I don't know. I kind of like him. I think I like everyone from Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
I'm sort of partial to that whole crew.
I do love Freaks and Geeks.
I just don't like that he's been in about 8 movies a year, and I'm kind of getting burnt out.
He does make a lot of movies where he plays the same person. But anyhow, that he has a new movie coming out, The Green Hornet, which looks kind of interesting. But then at the end of the commercial, they're saying it's in 3D, and I was like, fuck it. I don't want to see another movie in 3D. I'm pretty much sick of 3D movies.
I've only seen about 2.
I think one on Avatar, and I'm already sick of it.
I saw Avatar, and I saw, I don't know, the 18th Harry Potter, where the last 10 minutes were in 3D.
You should save 3D for a special occasion. I understand you all want to cash in at the box office, but you're just going to basically saturate the market and make it so no one gives a shit about 3D.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's no other reason to go to the movies now because you could get a huge TV, and they've raised the prices of movies so much. Like, why do you want to go for a movie?
There's something nice about going to a movie theater, like when it first opens, seeing a movie on a big screen, dropping $150, like...
Yeah, paying $8 for popcorn and having the back of my seat kicked by little kids. And
you know what? Speaking of the popcorn, I know it's like $8 for a giant tub of this shit, and I hadn't realized when I was a kid I used to just like gobble that stuff down. And even not that I'm like a girl with like calories and stuff like that, but I hadn't realized how bad that popcorn is for you. And when they point out for you like eating that big thing of popcorn is like eating like 8 Big Macs.
Yeah, it's the butter.
But you know what like makes me think is like, I'll just have 5 Big Macs.
Yeah,
like,
that's much better.
I'd much rather have just 5 Big Macs. Just sell McDonald's there. I'd be much happier.
I did that once.
Did you?
Yeah, this when we were in high school, this kid we knew worked there, and he dared me and my buddy. He said, I bet you guys couldn't eat as much as I can steal. And I said, I accept your challenge.
Okay.
And he took a sack of chicken nuggets for my buddy. And he stole 2 Big Macs, 2 Quarter Pounders, and an Arch Deluxe from me.
Oh, I used to love the Arch Deluxe.
And when we finished everything. And then we said, more, please. And he said, oh, my God, I've created a monster.
Why did they get rid of the Arch Deluxe?
I don't know.
The Arch Deluxe, it had Arch Deluxe sauce, the special sauce, which every time they say special sauce just means mayo mixed with something else.
Mayo and ketchup, I think.
Yeah, it's usually just that, but it was tasty.
Well, no, the special sauce is Thousand Island dressing.
Which is just, Thousand Island dressing is just mayo with something else.
Right.
My mom used to make Thousand Island dressing. It was just like a mayo and ketchup mixed together. That's Russian dressing, which is basically Thousand Island dressing.
Yeah.
They add like a parsley to it and make it Thousand Island.
Yeah, it's like, what, mayo and relish and ketchup or something like that?
Like, back in, like, the 80s when we grew up, like, there was no such thing as eating healthy. No one even understood and knew that. Like, you couldn't buy something low-fat in the store. And my mom used to make salad for us, and she would mix... sometimes she'd buy dressing, but a lot of times she would just mix ketchup and mayonnaise and make the Russian dressing. We put it in the salad, and the whole point of eating the salad was, like, let's have something healthy. And then let's have a Big Mac on top of that, whatever's healthy, really. I might as well have been chugging oil.
Yeah. They didn't care about health back then. They still didn't have the obesity problems.
Do we have worse obesity problems because of... Are they worse than they were like 10 years ago? Or 20 years ago?
Yeah, they're much worse. Look at the 80s movies. It wasn't like crowds of fat people in the background.
I feel like fat people haven't like suddenly emerged from the scene.
I think it's...
it wasn't like 1995 where suddenly the country was like, wait, there are a lot of fat people.
I think it's all the processed foods.
Yeah, it's getting worse, though. It's also about that people have less money, and so all they can afford is to eat, like, crappier foods.
Yeah, that's true. You buy an organic egg, it's like $4, and you could buy like 8 bag of chips.
I mean, to do a quick political rant, they always talk about, like, one thing or another. They talk about, like, people aren't eating healthy enough. Our schools aren't very good. Or, like, some others, like, or schools aren't very good, or some other issue. And it always comes down to, if people were making a decent living, they could, like, spend more time with their kids, so the kids would do better in school. They could buy their kids food, like, better food. It basically comes down to the economy didn't fucking blow for most of America. Everything would be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
They always try to, like, the schools, they always try to, like, well, maybe we have more teachers, or what's the value of the teachers better? It's not the teachers. It's the fact that their parents can barely get by because the country sucks, and they can't spend any time with their kids, and that's why their kids are doing poorly.
Yeah, but that's not the way our government sees it.
Are you recording our show properly?
Yeah, I'm recording. The Ustream window was skipping, so I figured I'd just restart Ustream.
And that's working?
I don't know if it's working now, nor do I really care.
How do you even know it was skipping?
Our one listener in the chat room told us it was skipping.
Thank you, one listener. We're talking to you. Is this listener from San Antonio?
I don't know. Are you all our downloads?
I want to see the movie The Fighter.
If you're just tuning in, listener, I donated blood like 4 hours ago, and now I'm drinking.
Do you think there's a good chance someone hasn't listened to the beginning of the show, but they listened to now?
That was basically for the live listener.
For the live listener.
That would be weird to tune in the middle of a pre-recorded podcast.
Yes. I want to see the movie The Fighter, though. You want to see that movie?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, I don't know why, because I don't like the actual sport of boxing, but I like boxing movies.
We talked about this a little bit earlier. I freaking love boxing movies. I don't even have to see boxing matches, but the boxing movies are always so good.
You know why? I just thought of it. Boxing matches in real life, it's a lot of hugging and the ref going break it up and repeat, and there's no defense in the movies, and it's just people punching each other.
And we all, at least as guys, have a dream of beating someone up, and boxing is a metaphor for our struggles in life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Rocky was an awesome movie, and
as was 2, 3, and 4.
All the Rockies were awesome. Except 5 was terrible,
yeah.
and Balboa was like a mediocre, like kind of like a...
Let's just call it 6. I'm not acknowledging these movies by their stupid titles.
Rocky 6 was like that great player. It was Rocky. You know what Rocky 6 was? Rocky 6 was Michael Jordan playing for the Wizards when he came back.
Yeah.
It was just like a shitty, like, oh, I guess this. But I remember he used to be good.
But better than average, but nowhere close to legendary.
Yeah, exactly what Michael Jordan was when he came back.
Well, people have now said that he sucked when he came back. He averaged like 24 points a game.
Yeah, but he wasn't Michael Jordan. He was like a decent player. He wasn't Michael Jordan.
But Wizards Michael Jordan, I would still like to have on the Knicks right now, as opposed to.
Well, obviously, but
right.
Isn't he kind of like he was kind of like Latrell Sprewell in his day, like as good as Latrell Sprewell was, that's what Michael Jordan was when he came back.
Well, that's fine.
That's totally fine. It's a very good player, but again, that's what Rocky Balboa was, or Rocky 6, or whatever. It was just like a decent movie. You got kind of excited at some points, but it really wasn't.
Anyway, the movie. You gonna watch it in 3D?
Oh, I was gonna say other good boxing movies.
Raging Bull,
obviously.
Diggstown.
Diggstown's great.
Yeah, underrated. Not
Really
many people
underrated.
have seen that.
I catch. That's the one you catch on a Saturday afternoon. You're doing nothing, and it's on Channel 11, and it's pretty cool. It has like a little twist at the end and everything. And the whole thing is he gets bet he can't fight 10 guys in a
single night, right?
In a single night, and he fights 10 guys, and it's a pretty cool movie. It's lots of people go double crossing each other. It's pretty solid. It's the best role ever for that black guy in the movie. What was his name?
Is it Ving Rhames?
No, it is not Ving Rhames.
It's the guy who kind of looks like Ving Rhames.
You're just proving they all look alike, aren't you?
Well, no, not all.
No, it's what's his name? I forget his name, but he's really good in it.
Yeah.
Also, I love who do I love? What's that boxing movie where it takes place in the Great Depression?
I don't know.
With the guy from Beautiful Mind, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe was in a box. I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's fantastic, actually. If you like boxing movies, you'll like this one.
Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah, Louis Gossett Jr. was awesome in that. Look up Russell Crowe. You'll see his movie. This is definitely one of the 14 that we just Googled 14. No one's listening anyhow. But we just Googled the 14.
You can listen to us Google. I don't care.
And Cinderella Man. Cinderella Man was actually awesome.
Okay.
You should totally see that movie. It was really underrated. It was really good.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think I've seen many of the other.
I haven't seen any of the others.
Apparently, there's a lot of boxing movies in the 50s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they made movies in the 50s, and who the hell cares? I mean, anytime they talk about a movie being, The $1 Million Baby, which I didn't see, and I refuse to see a movie that unrealistic.
Yeah, exactly. done with that.
That movie I was like, it's more unrealistic than that movie where they brought back the dinosaurs, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park is based on science.
Yeah, I mean,
Women boxers is just crazy.
yeah, it's based on fantasy.
Yeah.
But
Were you going somewhere with the boxing movie, or we?
I just want to talk about boxing movies. I really like boxing movies.
Okay, fair enough.
I got nothing else to go with that.
That's fine. I don't care.
So what's up with you, Jay? What's new with you? Besides getting blood and how are you feeling, by the way?
We're getting heckled in our chat room.
What are they saying in the chat room?
That we're boring. You know why we're boring? Because we don't care anymore.
Oh my god, we're boring. What do you guys want? What do you want us to talk about? One listener.
I got my room back. I got my life
Yes.
back. I am.
Should we go to my rants, or do you have anything to talk about?
I wanted to complain about buses. I don't know
Christmas
how interesting
presents.
that
What are you
is.
getting for Christmas?
What am I getting?
What
for
did you get
Christmas?
for Christmas?
What am I getting 10 days ago?
By the way, the war on Christmas. Who won this year?
The war on Christmas?
Have you ever seen that? And the Fox News every year like drums up the war on Christmas. They say there's a war going on against Christmas. They're trying to defeat it. And every year it's like a big thing. Depending on what else is going on in the real news, depends on how much time they cover it. They usually devote maybe 10 to 15 hours to it. Some years more. But they always mention some segments where some town is calling something the holiday parade instead of the Christmas parade. And,
yeah.
and then they'll be they'll claim bloody riots, and they'll say, "Oh my God, Christmas! You can't even find it in America anywhere unless you look outside."
Yeah, unless you look anywhere.
Between end of October until December 25th, you look outside. You'll do that. You won't know Christmas is going on. It's part of this whole movement to say that white people and Christians are now the minority, and they're disappearing in America. Even though if you look around, that's all you actually say.
Yeah. We were going to have a Secret Santa at work, and we weren't allowed to call it Secret Santa. We had to call it Secret Snowflake, which doesn't even make sense.
Okay, that's kind of gay.
Yeah, snowflakes don't even give gifts, idiot managers. So, yeah, because somebody would get so upset if we exchanged gifts but called it the wrong name.
Secret Snowflake?
Secret Snowflake, yeah. Because Santa's very religious. Remember when Santa met the three wise men and smoked some frankincense?
For those of you who don't know, Santa was actually the Santa we know is a creation of Coca-Cola. So when you celebrate Christmas with Santa, you celebrate Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
In the 1930s, they came up with the image of Santa, and that was a marketing technique of theirs, and we've bought it.
Well, maybe if you Jews didn't have your holiday first, Santa would give you presents.
You know what's so fucked
he
about?
He goes down your chimney and he's like, they already have 8 presents.
You know what's fucked about our holiday? We never know when it's going to be. We're on some different calendar. It changes every month, every year. It's a different day. It's like, what year is it going to be this year? This year it might be December 1st or December 15th or December 30th. It just changes up every year. I can't figure out when the freak is Hanukkah is going to be every year.
Yeah, it's you got to get an astrological chart and a telescope and look at the stars.
It's on based on the moon instead of the regular calendar is based on the sun, right? Am I crazy? So,
no, that's what most.
So it's based on based on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't there be a general pattern to it? Like this year is going to be the 1st, and next year's going to be the 15th, and back to the 1st. But there's no real pattern to it. I can't figure it out. And we have a Jewish calendar, which is in the Hebrew year, it's 57, 51, or whatever year it is. But no Jew you ever meet knows what year it is unless they live in Israel.
Well, that's got to be wrong because Jesus wasn't born yet.
Yeah, that's true, too.
So you Jews better get it together because you're clearly 3,000 years off.
Yeah, history did start on the day. Doesn't the problem of the history starting on the day Jesus was born, the problem being the prequel called the Old Testament?
I have a few problems. I don't think we have enough time to go over my problems with the Old Testament, especially since Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, a guy and a guy. Wouldn't that be the end of civilization right there?
Well, here's a problem.
Unless Cain and Abel went back to Eve.
You want to go problems. So when we had Noah's Ark and God decided to let's have a do-over with the world.
Yeah.
So he took on 2.
Nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
So he took on 2 of everything, right?
Yeah.
So forgetting all the animals and all the fish and the fish who jumped on the boat for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
So you assume it had to be Noah and one other person, right?
Yeah.
Noah and Mrs. Noah, right?
Noet.
So Noah and Mrs. Noah are really where everyone came from, not Adam and Eve. Because Noah and Noet had to like repopulate the earth. They never really talk about that.
No, they don't.
If you're going to believe the story as is, you assume Noah and Noet, who they never even mentioned Noet, but they repopulated the earth because they killed all the people. So we're all descendants of Noah and Noet, and we have no relation to Adam and Eve.
Well, I guess technically they descended from them, even though they had two sons who lived to be 700 years old. This is part of it. They lived to be 700 and something years old, and then they magically had kids. Okay.
It is kind of like, to be fair, like finding like holes and like things that don't make sense in religion is like beating up a 5-year-old. It's not really hard to do. So
It's all real, all right? The termites were on a diet for 40 days. They did not eat the boat because it was...
Well, there were only 2 termites.
It was the termites' version of Ramadan.
Basically, you have to ask you should ask your ask in church, are we big on incest? And the church will be like, no, we're against incest. But didn't we all come from incest?
We're against incest. We like to fondle other people's kids.
Is there anything wrong with fondling other people's kids?
Isn't that what OPP was about?
Yeah. There was another movie out, movie-wise, about the Valerie Plame affair. Do you remember that? With the whole CIA?
No, never heard of that.
Valerie Plame was a CIA agent. And this is going back to like 2003.
A girl?
Yeah, a woman who's actually an undercover CIA agent.
So this is like science fiction.
Yeah, probably. Dick Cheney apparently, or his henchmen, exposed who she was.
Is Dick Cheney the most evil person ever to walk this planet?
You know why? Like people dislike George Bush, but there's always like that feeling of like, hey, he wasn't really in charge. That really the evil genius was Dick Cheney. So no one hates Bush. People are like, Bush isn't that bad. It's Cheney was the evil one.
That's because it's just like a given. It's like, yeah, Bush is a dick. We already know that the devil is his vice president. We don't even need to comment on it. He shot his friend in the face, and nobody was like...
The greatest line ever is Jon Stewart. How powerful do you have to be to shoot your friend in your face, and the friend apologizes to you?
Yeah. He also said his idea of fun on the weekend is to go out and shoot quail tards. Because they weren't even real...
Quail tards being his servants.
They weren't even real quails. They were like slow quails that couldn't fly. So he just walks up, like shoves the barrel of his rifle in their mouth and shoots the quail, yet somehow still hit his friend in the face.
Dick Cheney, if you'd like to come on our show and comment, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, maybe that'll boost our ratings a little bit.
But the whole thing was that...
the show really picked up once we got all informative.
Yeah. So Dick Cheney did this revealing of who Valerie Plame was, in response to Valerie Plame's husband was I guess a diplomat that worked for the U.S. or he was in some official role. And during 2003, when we wanted to invade Iraq, George Bush in the State of the Union made a statement about how Iraq was trying to buy yellow cake. This is I guess something that's used to make nuclear weapons.
Did you say yellow cake?
Look up yellow cake. They called it yellow cake.
I like yellow cake.
It's for you're making uranium. This is something that's from. They said basically.
Am I on the FBI most followed list now? Ooh, delicious cakes are coming up.
Yellow cake is a kind of uranium concentrate powder obtained.
I skipped right to the pictures of cake.
Obtained from leach solutions, an intermediary step in the processing of uranium.
Okay.
So basically, they're processing uranium. So basically, Iraq was trying to acquire uranium ingredients to make nuclear weapons. He said from Nigeria, and the whole thing was that the husband. Valerie Plame's husband exposed this as not being true, and there's a whole big thing about it. And I don't know why I bring this up in the first place for those people that even remember the story. It's such a boring story.
Yeah, what happened?
The movie's actually out recently, and the movie actually apparently it was a pretty good movie about it. But the whole thing was a big affair was Iraq or not, yes or no, trying to acquire uranium concentrate from Nigeria. And I thought always left out of the story was the idea of why were we all cool with Nigeria having uranium in the first place and be able to make nuclear weapons.
Why do we have a problem with anybody making nuclear weapons when we're the only country that's ever used them?
Because we know how bad they are. We don't want anyone else to use them. That's why we have 14,000. We have enough nuclear weapons to blow up the world about 1 million times.
Yeah, wouldn't once be enough?
Yeah.
Twice in case the first one malfunctions.
There was actually a big fight in Congress about this treaty, this non-enforceable treaty with Russia where we said we were going to reduce our nuclear weapons by like a third.
And then we're both like, you go first.
Yeah. But everyone's fighting about it, and they're like, oh my God, we may only have 400,000 nuclear weapons as opposed to like 800,000. And they're like, yeah, you know what? 2 of them could blow up the world. We can reduce it really far and have no real issue.
Yeah.
We don't have to you don't have to be like really like close. We can blow up, we can hit a nuclear weapon, a really big nuclear weapon, hit London, and probably blow up the rest of the world also at the same time.
Probably. I mean, the fallout, nuclear winter and all that.
Yeah, I mean, what we used against like Japan, but that was just like, that was a weak shit.
Yeah.
I think it's stronger stuff now.
Yeah. And you know how they cost like $1 billion each? Why don't you just give everyone in the United States like $50,000?
I mean, they're pretty
and make
much,
one less bomb.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Homelessness solved.
Well, another way you know what? A way to solve the homelessness?
Murder them?
We should take all our homeless and just whatever country we're fighting, give them the homeless people. We're like, we're not going to take the homeless people back from you until you guys surrender.
That could also solve immigration too. Every time somebody immigrates over illegally, we just drop a bomb in their country.
Were we talking about this?
Same thing, bomb.
The idea of solving the immigration problem by having a... Oh, never mind. I saw a comedian doing this. You ever see Kathleen Madigan? She did a whole bit of... She's hilarious. Have you seen her?
No.
She's the funniest female comedian out there. And she did a bit about having a...
AKA only?
The only, yeah. Pretty much. They really, the next funniest female comedian out there doesn't exist. So...
I went to a comedy show, just so people don't think I'm totally sexist. I went to a comedy show last month. 2 funny women comedians in the same show.
Wow. Wow, that's like lightning striking twice.
And they were not white.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh.
So...
The only funny female comedian I've seen anytime recently has been Kathleen Madigan. And he has a whole bit about how we should, for immigration, we should have them basically be a game of like voting people in and voting people out. Basically like a reality show where we're like, Hector's been here for 15 years plowing land. Do we keep him? Paris Hilton's a bitch. Do we get rid of her? Yeah, anyhow. So that was my political lesson. Do we take a break for beer?
Let's I'm feeling okay. I don't think I should probably go for a second beer.
That seems like a bad idea.
Bad idea to not go for the second beer, or bad idea?
I think bad idea to go for the second beer, but you can do whatever you want. You're home right now. You can just lay down over there or pass out drooling.
I don't remember 1 second of the last episode, just for the record. That wasn't because I donated blood and drank. That was just because I drank and then drank.
We can go to my rants next.
Yeah, we could go to your rants.
I don't know. You have more to talk about?
Just buses.
Okay, what's going on with the buses?
Very topical.
You want to sit in the back of the bus or the front of the bus now?
I don't care about that. I hate when I feel bad for people who can't walk, but when you get on a bus and there's somebody in a wheelchair at the next stop, doesn't that just ruin your entire day?
It just have to take forever. You have to wait for the person, the lowering, the raising.
It's you'd think they'd come up with a faster method of doing that.
Yeah, if they can move the people in the wheelchair faster and more like just throw them on the bus, that'll probably be better for everyone.
Well, I mean, first the bus stops, and then the whole bus has to lower, and then they got this step thing that lowers to put the wheelchair on, but it goes so unbelievably slow. It's literally like 3 minutes of this thing just lowering.
Well, I'd make the argument that people in wheelchairs shouldn't be allowed on buses because they're already on a vehicle that has wheels. Why do they have to come on my vehicle with wheels? Yeah,
I mean, there are sidewalks.
Yeah, they have motorized. That's
true. They don't even have to wheel around anymore.
I mean, the fucking people in the wheelchairs, they're so selfish. And they're sitting all day anyhow.
Yeah, I don't know. Lazy. Yeah.
I think it's pretty... I think most disabled people are just lazy people.
And then one time I got on, and it was 2 straight stops of Crips trying to get on. It was like 20 minutes, and I went 2 blocks.
Oh, God. It's sometimes... there's one day I was on the bus, and it was like going really slow, so I got off. Sometimes you get off the bus, and immediately it speeds up, and like it's a mile ahead of you. But it's one time I got off, and I was walking, and like the bus would catch up to me, then it would stop. And let people on.
And you walked as fast as the bus the whole way.
Yeah. And, like I walked like across town and the exact same speed as the bus. It's like wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we can take a break because that was stupid and I shouldn't have brought it up.
I was at a family dinner yesterday, and there's my uncle was talking about the bill for the 9/11 responders. Finally, they're passed money to give healthcare to the 9/11 responders, and I got an awkward silence when I said, "Well, isn't it easier just to let them all die? It's cheaper that way." I was obviously kidding, but then they're like, "Mark, I don't think so."
Well, you should have said, shouldn't the government just pay for it because they staged 9/11 to begin with?
I think you're out of your mind.
You think I'm out of my mind?
You really think 9/11 was staged, you crazy person?
Not staged as in it didn't happen. I mean, like...
You're as crazy as the people that think that Obama's from, like, Kenya, a Kenyan spy running this country.
That is not founded on any facts.
Really. If 9/11 was... Our country, we have things called WikiLeaks that reports everything. Like, we can't like, we're going to hide this?
It's not hidden.
It's not hidden.
There's
You watch Jesse Ventura too much.
I have not watched him at all.
By the way, Jesse Ventura, the governor of Minnesota, has a show called Conspiracy Theories. It's on like the court.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
You've never seen anyone as crazy as Jesse Ventura. I used to think he was not crazy. Then I watched the show and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Do you work for Fox News?
We could argue politics. I'd love to take the Fox News before. It's so easy to take the Republican sides and everything because everything's cut and dry. Like right, black or white. We can just argue things like no tax cuts, no tax cuts. We cannot raise tax on the richest 1% that have had seen their income increase by 800% over the last 25 years. We cannot because that will hurt the economy.
Yeah.
So you think 9/11?
Yeah, no, I do.
Tell me why.
I have lots of links and facts.
Well, I know there are a lot of links and facts on the crazy internet.
Buildings don't fall at free fall speed from something hitting the top of it.
I don't know. I remember my neighbor's building got hit by a plane, and it just crashed. What
crashed? The building?
My neighbor. When I lived in the suburbs, my neighbor had a 800-foot skyscraper next door to me, and it got hit by a jumbo jet, and it went right down.
The building went down? Or the jet went down?
They both did. I don't know.
You just,
I'm just fucking with you.
You're just being crazy.
Do you think? Who do you think? So you think the government? What was the reason before? Why did the government do it?
Because
you think the government planned it, or the government knew it was coming?
The government planned it because now they got to take away all our freedom and they got to attack Iraq.
If you've noticed in our history, we attack places without good reasons to begin with.
Yeah, well, we fake a lot of reasons, like the Gulf of Tonkin.
We used to just invade places without even like telling people why.
Yeah, sometimes we do that too, but a lot of times we make up reasons. We
invaded Panama because drugs are illegal in the United States. That made no sense.
We don't really make sense on a lot of our things.
But we didn't really need a better reason to invade Iraq. They could have drummed up a reason. They didn't really need to go through the invade Afghanistan. You really think 9/11 was so George Bush was like, "This sounds like a great plot."
Well, I don't know how much he was involved. Could you not? Thank you.
There's our one listener think, man, to have unprotected sex as long as he doesn't ejaculate, because I believe...
Wait, no, read the first part first, because it doesn't make sense if you read the second part.
One of the highlights for the SAS trip was from... What's SAS?
You don't... I don't know what SAS... San Antonio Spurs.
Was from cage fighter Alex Reed, who told Sun Tabloid newspaper in April that he reabsorbs his sperm to prepare for a big fight. It's actually very good for a man to have unprotected sex as long as he doesn't ejaculate, because I believe that all the semen has a lot of nutrition. A tablespoon of semen has the equivalent of steak, eggs, lemons, and oranges. I'm reabsorbing into...
Huh? That just hurt my head.
That was dumber than the...
Sense About Science campaign is SAS. Well, it should be NAS, Nonsense About Science, because steak, eggs, lemons, and oranges from not coming.
What the hell do lemons have to do with it?
You don't reabsorb it.
I mean, it was already in your body. It's not like you're suddenly like... You're like, oh my god, I'm getting weaker now that I've come.
Yeah, I think he needs to look up what reabsorb means, because if it never left your body, then you're not reabsorbing it.
I think we should all just say like, hey, we're all going to agree to use science for everything instead of making up our own facts. Like, oh, this makes sense. This sounds good. You know, I think I like to eat apples, and I've never been attacked by a lion, so I assume apples keep lions away.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't like asparagus, and I've never been attacked by a bear.
Yeah, there you go. Eating asparagus will mean you'll be attacked by a bear.
Yeah.
You know, I think sweating. I sweat a lot, but I also think a lot. So I think sweating leads to thinking.
Mm-hmm. I just got sent an article, 110 things New Yorkers talked about in 2010. We could go over this list.
Do you want to go over this list? All 110s? Do you want to get another beer first?
Yeah, I'm going to get one more beer. More people join the chat room. This will be a very quick break. I just donated blood and I'm now drinking. So I want to do the show before I die.
Jay's a genius.
I'm a genius. We'll be right back.
I need a garage door opener for my balls.
What?
What the fuck? I don't like the smell that usually forms down there if I go for a couple days without washing.
I'm proud of you.
It smells like onions wrapped in asshole.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Hey, Dad, remember that one time I got that cock stuck in my ass?
He just went over legs and arms.
In a truck not too hard to locate, featuring painted images of a peeled banana, the exposed part shaped like a condom, and a shirtless man saying, "I protect myself." To you.
What kind of fucking question is this? I'm the host of the show and I get put down on every episode.
I love you, Tim.
John is a man of God.
Shed his precious blood.
Shed his precious blood.
And died.
And died.
Oh, my sin. And now the three guys that taught your mom that thing you like. It's Minor Detail.
MinorDetailPodcast.com.
Let's cut to the chase. I'm DJ, and I do a little something called the Green Light Show. Now, I want you to be a fan of the show, so I'm making you listen to this sample. And these girls, they think, oh, as long as I show off my tits, I'm fat. I'll wear the skin-tight shirt and show off all my tits.
Yeah, I see
That'll look real good.
I see that a lot, actually, and it's rather disgusting.
And I've heard these girls, they'll say stuff like, well, you're looking.
Yeah, because I want to throw up.
Yeah, just because I'm looking at your enormous exposed tits, that doesn't mean I like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like driving by a car wreck, if I were to see a 6-year-old boy's head smashed and run over by an SUV, just because I can't look away, that doesn't mean I like the way it looks. I went to go see Toy Story 3.
My bad.
I don't mean to spoil the movie for anybody, but Andy dies.
Does he get AIDS?
Andy gets AIDS in Toy Story 3 from a gay orgy. He got drunk. He went up to
at college.
The plot of this is, it shows Andy leaving his parents in the beginning, his mom's house.
Yeah, his single mom.
Where the fuck is Andy's dad?
His mom's a single mom.
So the opening scene is just Andy going, "I'm out of here, Mom, fuck off!" And Andy drives off to his college.
Smoking weed.
Andy gets to college, and the first thing, he opens the door to his new apartment. And his roommates, who he's never met, are in there. They go, "Hey, Andy, rub this on your tongue." Andy starts fucking all these dudes. It's a big, giant orgy.
Wow.
It's like gays and lesbos and normals, and they're all just intertwined fucking.
That's weird.
And then Woody shows up, but it's not Woody. It's Andy's dick with a cowboy hat on it. And he goes, "Check out my Woody!" If you like what you hear, head on over to greenlightshow.com. You can find out everything about the show right from the homepage. greenlightshow.com. See you there.
Now we're back on the air.
We are back.
For those of you listening live, that was officially the quickest break we've ever had.
Ever.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, we have this list of 110 10 things New York was talking about during 2010. And we're going to start going over that list, and then we'll stop when it gets uninteresting at item number 4.
Yeah.
So the first thing on the list, number 1, I don't think this is any real order in particular, but bed bugs. Bed bugs were a big thing to talk about in 2010.
You know, this whole thing has gotten me so paranoid. If I get one itch in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh my God, I have bed bugs. Now I have to move and burn all my clothes.
Honestly, I woke up in the middle of the night. It was like 4 a.m. I felt a little itchy. Went to the bathroom. Well, no, I didn't feel itchy. I went to the bathroom. I was like, whatever. I was going to the bathroom, washing my hands. I looked in the mirror. I saw like a pimple on my chest, which I guess was a pimple. And I was like, oh my God, I have a bite from a bed bug. I was like freaking out. I went online to look up stuff about bed bugs. Then like I was trying to check like the mattress while not waking up my wife. So I had like an hour freak out about bed bugs.
Yeah,
it's like 6 months ago. Then I never told my wife anything about it because I was like, if I tell her about this, it'll even get worse.
And then she's going to freak out, you know? Good time. We both drank at the same time. That was good.
But then, anyhow, we didn't have bed bugs. That was awesome.
This is going to be a quick list because
there are 110 items.
Well, I also realized that I've been reading so many X-Men comics that I don't know what happened in the real world now. So I have no comments for like 8 out of the first 10.
So the second one, Pee Wee Herman's big comeback.
I do have a comment about that. Awesome. Very excited.
I would have been really
too long.
more excited if he made his comeback in an adult theater masturbating. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. Well, I still can't believe he lost his career for like 15 years because of that.
Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous because like people do a lot worse stuff, and basically his problem was not coming up in the age of the internet. If the internet happened, he would have been masturbating at home and been fine.
Yeah, no, it's true.
They probably would have caught him on Skype masturbating, and that would have been like the big thing.
Well, then he would have deserved it.
Yeah,
but it was hard times for us guys back then.
Did you use the word hard on purpose, or?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was hard because you had to get go to the store and like, can I have Sports Illustrated, Time Magazine, and Sluts Weekly?
Yeah, exactly. Big Gaping Holes, Volume 2.
I'll take M&M's, a Dr. Pepper, and cum dumpsters.
And Pez.
Pez, yes. I'm only getting cum dumpsters because there's an interview with George Bush, the senior,
and it's my favorite writer.
Yeah, it's a really good good piece on him.
Did you ever buy magazines?
Yes,
a lot.
I was not. Well, my dad had a Playboy collection. Mm-hmm. He was subscribed to Playboy most of my like childhood. He always subscribed.
Playboys are kind of like, I don't know.
It's a weak porn. Yeah, it's. I mean, the logos are airbrushed and it's all like weak. It's like softcore.
Yeah,
kind of almost. And they actually have like articles that are worth reading in there, I guess.
Yeah.
Actually, to make things weird, my mom used to really like to take the jokes out of Playboy and tell them at parties. And it was really awkward when I hear my mom talk about like a joke about like a 9-inch penis.
Especially when 4 of the guys in the room immediately like looked at the floor because they knew the joke because they had the issue.
My mom literally would take jokes out of Playboy, put them on note cards, and memorize them off the note cards and tell them at like events with other people. It was really a shame of my childhood. Actually, I actually should not be talking about this in the show. I should be talking about this to like a psychiatrist. But that was really weird for me.
I had a place where I bought like Lotto and stuff from like twice a week, and then I bought a magazine there once and like never went back ever again.
I remember like
it's the only time I bought one.
I was like 12 or 13, and one of my friends like we were playing hockey or some sport at my friend's place, and like out by their neighborhood, and like the guys like we were all like let's go to the woods. I'm like, why are we going to the woods? And then he had like an issue of like Hustler in the Woods. And we're like staring at it like, and it's weird when you like fight. Okay. Well, anyhow, and the first time I bought a porn magazine, I bought a newspaper. I just grabbed like a smaller version of a porn magazine, so it ended up being like the Penthouse like forums, and I put it in like a New York Times magazine newspaper, and went to the checkout to like buy it, like nervous as hell, so they wouldn't notice the porn. Like I was just hoping they wouldn't notice and just charge me for the New York Times. And the woman made some comment. It was nothing related to that, and I was like something about like whatever it was. I was like. Doing fine. I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Here's keep the change. It was like straight out of a TV show, and then I ran back to my dad's car and had to hide it the rest of the time.
Every single neighborhood had a woods, and they all ended up with some random porno in there that all the neighborhood knew about. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Except now that now there's no woods.
In the suburbs, there are still.
Not in mine. Every neighborhood, all the woods got torn down, and it's whole like, condos and.
You're from Long Island, though, right?
Yeah.
Long Island. They in Rockland, where I grew up, they still had like woods.
Okay, because it was 4 school districts like really close together.
Yeah.
And they each had a separate woods, and they're all gone.
Because my wife's family's in Long Island, and they don't have any woods there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So anyhow, porn, good to buy when you're a kid.
Yeah. Larry King's farewell. I didn't know Larry King left.
He did leave, and if you've watched Larry King before, you can't. You probably, as myself, couldn't figure out why he was still in the air.
Yeah.
His big thing was not do a lot of preparation for interviews because he wanted to be surprised by things.
Except that then he knew nothing about who he was interviewing.
Yeah, like he'd ask dumb questions, like, "Oh, Paris, you related to the Hilton family?" Like he really just had no idea about what was going on with people. Like,
best campaign slogan of 2010: "I am not a witch."
That's kind of funny.
That was funny. I think we commented on that already, though. The fact that it even had to be said.
Next one, Ricky Martin comes out, which actually appeared in the 09, 08, 07, and 06 list as well.
Yeah. Least shocking thing ever.
Steven Slater wigs out.
Is that the guy from Saved by the Bell?
And that's the guy from the JetBlue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fine.
Four Loko RIP.
Stupid.
We talked about that on, I think, the last episode. All the campaign against Four Loko has just made me want to get Four Loko.
Yeah. Actually, what I do have planned for January... See, I didn't totally quit the show yet.
Four Loko party?
Yeah.
Really?
Four Loko cast. Sometime later January.
I am down for Four Loko cast. That would be awesome.
We have new guest hosts coming on.
Nice.
And,
you have an exciting 2011 plan.
And yeah, I do.
Maybe we'll talk about our New Year's resolutions when we're done with this.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So there was Justin Bieber, who I'm still not sure what the hell he does.
I don't either. He got a new haircut, really? People talked about that in New York? Who are over 13? Next.
There's no justice. Mondo loses to Gretchen on Project One Way. Who the fuck cares?
That sentence could have been in French for all I know.
Well, maybe there is. Briston Palin finally is ousted with Dancing with the Stars.
Who cares?
I was hoping they would abort Bristol Palin. I know she's like 25, but could they still do that?
The whole family, really.
I mean, it's what a dumb whole whatever. I mean, the Sally Draper plotline of Mad Men. I really like Mad Men.
Never seen one episode.
It's a fantastic show, but why is this on the list? It's like particularly New York. New York likes it. Like everyone in New York really likes this TV show.
This was written by somebody who's 15, obviously.
Gwyneth Paltrow started in Charm Offense. I don't even want to click on the link to find out.
No, I don't know what that is, and I don't care about Gwyneth Paltrow. See, this will be quick.
Giuliani, the daughter of Rudolph Giuliani, is arrested on shoplifting charges.
Yawn.
Cares. Anthony DiMarshall, the son of Brooke Astor, is convicted of stealing from and defrauding his mother. Again, they can all fucking die for all I really give a shit.
Blank guy I've never heard of. Son of another person
Brooke
I've
Astor
never
is
heard
really
of.
rich. It's a really rich family, and they're all being jackasses.
Great. Fine. Deborah Lee Lorenzana's allegation that she was fired from Citibank for being too sexy.
It was kind of a funny story.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it was kind of funny. Some woman who showed a lot of cleavage got fired from Citibank. Like she was like a teller or something, and she claimed I'm too sexy. That's why they fired me.
But that probably wasn't the reality of it at all. She was probably a shitty employee.
Or she like dressed really inappropriately for the work environment.
Right.
She was like mildly attractive. She's not like that good looking.
She is on the cover of magazines, apparently.
Oh yeah, she got famous off of it.
She's not that good looking.
She's okay. I mean,
she's, oh yeah, no, she's alright. Yeah.
She's okay. She's not like anything special.
I think they're fake.
I mean, it was a whole thing about like what her work attire was like. It's just so dumb.
She probably dressed like a skank.
September, Marty Peretz, editor-chief of The New Republic, writes on his blog that he wonders whether Muslims are worthy of the privileges of the First Amendment. I'm guessing Marty Perez...
I just spaced out. That one was too long.
Why? Because Marty Perez is a Republican.
Okay.
That we have a movement in our country this year, the general movement, which is that Muslims are no longer Americans. We did this in the 1940s with Japanese Americans, and it's just as right now as it was right then.
Yeah. Okay, so that's stupid.
It's stupid. It's December, Franklin Foer, editor...
Never heard of him. Next.
Sorry. editor of New Republic, announced he's quitting. Is that the same guy that said that's a different guy from New Republic? Fuck.
I had never heard of the New Republic.
Willow Smith, I've heard of it. Willow Smith, the daughter of Will Smith. Do you ever see the movie Shattered Glass?
No, never.
It's actually a pretty solid movie.
I feel like I haven't heard of anything. What planet am I living on?
I don't know. It's an indie. My wife hasn't heard any movie. Any movie I named from like when we were like younger, she's never seen. I have to like show it to her now. She hadn't seen Throw Mama from the Train.
I saw part of it. I know of it.
That's a fantastic
I know it's
movie.
a Sylvester Stallone movie.
No, that's Don't Stop. This is Dane DeVito and Billy Crystal.
Right. What was I
that
thinking
was Don't
of?
Stop or My Mom
Stop
Will
or My
Shoot
Mom Will Shoot. Yeah, okay.
Oh, and she hasn't seen. She didn't see Brewster's Millions. I'm also going by probably not the most popular movies for my kid. When I was a kid.
It's not like you're picking like Beetlejuice and Back to the Future.
I should ask her if she's seen Beetlejuice. So Will Smith, the daughter of Will Smith, and her, who the fuck cares?
This is a Republican 16-year-old who wrote this list.
Jerry Seinfeld's hilarious, cranky, Why Am I Here appearance in Andy Cohen's talk show. I don't know who Andy Cohen is.
No, I don't either.
I just saw Jerry Seinfeld though on he was on Letterman the other night, and he actually was really funny. He's still pretty funny.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Kanye.
He did have the most popular sitcom of all time, so. Kanye's Twitter post, who the fuck cares?
No, you know what's funnier than Kanye's Twitter posts? Jeff Ross's Twitter posts, because he attacks Kanye constantly.
Oh, really?
Like, Kanye wrote, like, life's a movie. Life's like a movie or something like that. And Jeff Ross retweeted it, and then he wrote, yours went straight to DVD. And, like every time he posts something, like, Jeff Ross just attacks him.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
The rebirth of Don Hills. I didn't know it closed, so that's cool.
I don't know what Don Hills is.
It's a bar/club. It's, I guess, fun to drink at. I've been there.
James Franco and someone else perform at Webster Hall. James Franco. We have to still give him props, though, because he was on Freezing Geeks.
Yeah, but he doesn't get two of the... this is a...
Robert... Yeah, this is why I told you this list sucks.
Never heard of this.
Chelsea Liz Clinton marries a nice Jewish boy. No, I'll tell you why we care about that.
Why?
Jews control everything. We're taking over.
Okay.
Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks. He's the WikiLeaks guy.
You know stuff.
Apparently I follow news a little more than you. And I have more time at work to follow news. WikiLeaks, though, I have to say, I think WikiLeaks is awesome. Natalie and Benjamin, I can't really read the list if you're not going to.
I have no attention span.
Natalie and Benjamin. I have no idea who that is. This is the worst fucking list ever. Taylor and Jake. Who the fuck are these people?
Okay, if they're nothing but first names, we're skipping it. You skip Steve Martin promoting his new novel set in the art world. Talks about art.
Do you know why? There's probably a good reason I skipped that.
Well, do you know why he makes so many shitty movies? Because
why?
He has a very expensive art collection habit. So he takes any paycheck he can get. He used to...
he probably wrote this movie. He actually writes some books.
Oh, yeah. I read one of his books.
Did you see Shop Girl?
No.
It was actually a solid movie.
Well, what he does, he used to alternate between good movies and paycheck movies. And then for a while, he decided to just do a bunch of paycheck movies.
Why don't you just say, Steve Martin used to be funny. He used to be hilarious. Now we don't know him as that.
Yeah. I don't care who's dating who, so we're skipping all those.
The new Norman Foster, who the hell cares? Nail salons that serve alcohol. That's about women. Who the hell fuck cares? Those damn vuvuzelas. Those from the soccer.
Yeah.
The iPad, which is might as well called the iUseless, and an item we never knew we needed.
The large iPhone.
The large iPhone. That Fran Lebowitz documentary on HBO. I don't know who Fran Lebowitz is.
I don't either.
Tina Brown. Don't know who she is. Tina Fey, who I didn't know she was particularly famous this year.
Nobody talked about her this year, you idiot.
Rex Ryan. Oh, this is good. Rex Ryan reported on his foot fetish. Did you see the whole thing with foot?
Yeah.
The coach of the New York Jets, his wife has made, or allegedly made, even though you could see it's her in the video, so we don't need to say allegedly. When you make a video of yourself doing it, you don't say the word allegedly anymore.
How do people know it was Rex Ryan's wife, though?
Well, they see a picture of her, and you see the woman in the video. It's obviously the same person.
How do people know who's the...
It's like you saying, how do we know Will Smith was really in Men in Black?
No, because that's like... It's obscure. If you said, like, oh, Mike D'Antoni, the coach of the Knicks' wife, was in a Playboy magazine, I wouldn't know what she looks like.
But we have pictures of D'Antoni's wife. Like, we have pictures of Rex Ryan's wife.
But you could just show me a picture of any girl and say that's so-and-so's wife. I wouldn't know. How do you know it's Rex Ryan's wife?
Because we've seen pictures of them together. They know it's his wife.
Okay, fine. I'm just saying, if you show me a picture of any girl on a foot fetish site right now and said it was so-and-so's wife, I would be like,
Are you saying that you can't tell the person in the picture is really the person in the video?
I'm saying, how do you know it's the person? Because who knows what the hell Rex Ryan's wife looks like?
Well, I think the media, everyone knew who Rex Ryan's wife looked like. There were like
Why, though?
Because on plenty of occasions, his wife accompanied whatever that word is, goes with him to places.
Porky pig.
Fine. Anyhow, so this topic was...
I'm conceding that argument.
Yeah. Willis and Kate are engaged. Who the fuck are they? Governor Christie of New Jersey, unlikely... So Governor Christie of New Jersey yelled at a poor person and told him to shut the hell up, and everyone cheered him. He said, "We got to cut poor people in this state." Some teacher was complaining about schools, and he's like, "Yeah, well, the school's gonna be bad because you guys are poor. You deserve it. I'm rich." The Dow's 1,000-point plunge in May. No one went to jail for that yet, of course. Mark Madoff's suicide. Who the fuck cares?
I love that.
Actually, you know what I am upset about Mark Madoff's suicide for? The rest of the Madoffs decided not to follow his example.
Yeah.
They all should fucking kill themselves.
I love when billionaires kill themselves, though.
Oh, people that fucking, especially, they're all criminals, but at least this one, you know he's a criminal. You have facts,
No, I like just, when the Dow plunges, and, the guy went from $100 million to, $10 million.
So you don't know the story at all.
No. I'm just saying that happens every time the Dow goes down. All these millionaires kill themselves, and it's so ridiculous.
Because they attach their self-worth to their
personality and livelihood.
Well, their self-worth to their actual monetary self-worth.
If I stop making sense soon, let me know.
Yeah, so that's the thing going with the plot. So we're gonna skip some Sandra Bullock's divorce. You know what's interesting about Sandra Bullock's divorce?
No, I don't. Tell me.
So she got divorced by the guy from the Chopper Show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you know when Sandra Bullock started dating him, he was cheating on his then wife at the time. Are you nodding off?
I'm trying to follow what you're saying, and I'm not.
So the whole thing is that Sandra Bullock. That's why this is terrible stories that no one gives a shit about. But Sandra Bullock, the big deal was that her husband cheated on her.
Yes.
Her husband was the guy from the Chopper Show.
Yes.
When Sandra Bullock started dating him, at the time he was cheating on his then other wife.
Oh.
So why is she even remotely surprised? Why is anyone surprised this happened?
Yeah.
You cheat once, you probably cheat again.
Yeah, that's a little hypocritical.
Dina Lohan is voted the mother of the year. I'm going to start doing my version of these stories.
This really is like an uber Republican. Jimmy Carter says he thinks the country's ready for a gay president.
Jimmy Carter's and I will be that gay president. I'm coming out.
Who cares?
Wouldn't it be great, though, if that was Jimmy Carter, at 85 years old, came out?
That would be fun.
He's I want to have lots of gay sex in the White House. I will negotiate peace with Iran by sucking off their president. Mark Jacobs' ex-boyfriend on the A-list. Conan O'Brien returns to late-night TV. No one notices, except for this article that says what we're talking about. The article's about the 110 things we were all talking about the entire year. And then they put an item on there that said no one noticed.
Also, he's pulling in almost as good ratings as the actual networks. So do some homework, stupid.
Yeah, who the fuck cares? Carl Palladino's campaign for governor.
Oh, how about the Spider-Man
the guy
Broadway play?
Oh, that was a great thing.
The fourth Spider-Man is now critically injured.
Yeah.
And I heard it was a shitty play to begin with.
Yeah.
Would you want to see a musical about Spider-Man?
Not really. There's lots of CGI in it also. They do all the special effects to make it look really cool. I kind of am interested in seeing it now that I know someone actually died during the performance.
Oh, somebody actually died too?
No, someone had to go to the hospital though. So I figure if that happens in the rehearsal, maybe in the real performance they'll actually have someone die.
Now, is this a musical or an opera?
I believe it's a musical.
Okay. Still horrible, but not as bad.
The song's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
It's going to be really bad.
Oh, I can't wait to see him try and rhyme spider and web and all this crazy stuff. Green Goblin.
Elizabeth Edwards died.
Don't know who that is.
She was John Edwards' wife who he cheated on. She actually came up with a book about last year called "Living with Cancer." Apparently, the book is not going to come out in
So there won't be a sequel, huh?
There won't be a sequel. There'll be the sequel will be "No Longer Living with Cancer."
Volume 2 will be in parentheses for 4 months.
Gary fuck nuts, super sad true love story. The Murder at Soho House. These are terrible, like Micah and Joe. Carlo Palladino was kind of funny. That was the guy that ran for governor who, like, just couldn't help saying things to offend people.
Oh, yeah. This person loves couples.
Roger Stone and Client 9. I mean, this is the gayest list ever. John Bonner's new... John Bonner's Tears. That was that's the new head of the Speaker of the House. Cries at everything, basically. Every time he does something that relates to making sure rich people have more money, he cries to make sure it happens.
All right, if you're having Jeter stays with the Yankees and Cliff Lee goes to Phillies, and you don't have Stoudemire going to the Knicks, then
you passed Stoudemire. They had a thing about him.
Did they? It
was Amari Stoudemire, Man About Town, which I don't even know what that means.
It's probably a picture of him in his suit. We're done with this.
This list. Wait, and number 110. The end of an era, Elaine Kaufman dies. If you know who Elaine Kaufman is, you're probably not listening to our show. Anyone? A trivia question. Who the fuck is Elaine Kaufman? Brett Favre's sexting controversy. I told you the list blows.
Yeah.
Elliot Spitzer is on TV again. In a train wreck.
Joan Rivers reminded us how funny she still is. But no, she's not funny.
She actually is a guest on the Howard Stern show every once in a while, and she's actually kind of funny on this show.
Yeah?
Oh, wait. Naomi Campbell testifies in the Blood Diamond trial of Charles Taylor. Oh, no, I'm thinking of Nev Campbell. Sorry. Give a shit about
No, Nev Campbell's still dead.
Yeah. Barney's Co-op goes to Brooklyn. What the new divorce site on Huffington Post?
Okay, your list
This is the worst list of anything ever.
Okay, now we're going to come up with a list of 110 that are better than... No, we're not. I feel like a 17-hour show.
We're going to come up with a list of 110 numbers between 100 and 1 and 110. Number 1. Number 2.
Here comes 3.
Okay, that was retarded.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about before we go to...
No, I want to talk about nothing else because I'm about to go insane. Because
you want to do a second episode with the
my blood alcohol content is about 4.7.
How are you feeling, man?
A little weird.
I wouldn't go past that second beer.
No, definitely not going to.
Do you want to do my the rants for the next episode?
Yeah, well, the next episode. We're done with this episode.
By the way, if you're listening, you're probably wondering why you listened. This was a train wreck. This was arguably one of the worst ones we've done.
If you're listening, you're a liar. Nobody listens to this show.
But we expect that this will be the resurgence. San Antonio will lead us in a resurgence. I expect San Antonio to recruit Austin and Houston and Dallas until we take over Texas.
Cool. The Brink of Sanity at gmail.com. Brink of Sanity on Twitter. brinkofsanityshow.com is the website. 631-676-1181 is the phone number. You impressed I remembered all that?
Not really.
Yeah. I've been doing it for 125 epidzs. Probably should know it by now. And I don't know, other stuff. We're on iTunes. We're on Facebook. Just do stuff.
I remember some stuff. Email Mark at New York Knicks Podcast. That's Mark with a C and Che at New York Knicks Podcast.
It's the New York Knicks Podcast.com. At least give the right email the show people listen to. And we're going to not.
Should we just talk about the New York Knicks on this on the Brink of Sanity also? Maybe that'll be pretty.
Yeah, the Knicks lost by 9. No, we're not going to do that. We're out of here.
Okay.
We'll be back when I feel like it. Maybe if I get some downloads, I'll do an episode quicker. No, I'm not going to.
Or we may just do another show right this second.
Yeah, we're recording another episode right after this, so there'll actually be episodes.
Behind the curtain, people.
I'm going to do this one quick because I'm about to pass out. Bye.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye.